how many of the emotions you feel are actually yours? Your anger, your fear, your guilt. What if most of your emotional reactions were inherited, not chosen? Today, you're going to learn how to take them back. This process is called emotional decolonization. It's about reclaiming your emotional identity from patterns you've inherited, from your family, your culture, your trauma, and society at large. Why does this matter? Because you cannot live freely with emotions that don't belong to you. Decolonization gives you emotional sovereignty, the right to feel on your own terms. Let's start with the science. Research in a field called epigenetics shows that traumatic experiences can alter how our genes are expressed, and those changes can be passed down to the next generation. It's not science fiction. Studies on the descendants of Holocaust survivors, war victims, and famine survivors show consistent patterns in their stress hormone regulation and their sensitivity to anxiety. Their bodies were prepared for a danger they had never personally experienced. But it's not just about big, historical traumas. Think about your childhood. According to Mary Ainsworth's groundbreaking attachment research, children copy the emotional reactions of their caregivers long before they understand them. You learned how to feel before you even had the language to describe those feelings. Then, culture steps in. Research from Stanford shows that cultures teach us emotional rules. Some cultures shame anger. Others reward strict emotional control. Some teach you to suppress sadness. These rules aren't just suggestions. They become a core part of our identity. And all of this gets hardwired into your brain. According to neuroscientist Joseph Liddou, every time you have an emotional reaction, you strengthen a specific neural pathway. Over time, these repeated reactions become neurological shortcuts. So, your brain starts reacting to the present moment using pathways that were built in your childhood, based on your family's and culture's rules. So how do you know if your emotions are inherited? Do you find yourself overreacting to small issues? Do you feel guilty for resting or taking a break? Do you apologize excessively, even when you've done nothing wrong? Maybe you're a people pleaser, constantly trying to make everyone happy. Or you avoid conflict at all costs. Perhaps you feel a deep sense of shame around expressing your true emotions. Listen closely. These are not your personality traits. They are inherited emotional scripts. This emotional colonization happens on 4 distinct layers. It's important to understand them. The first layer is your family. Your family created your first emotional rule book. Maybe you heard things like, don't cry, don't talk back, or be strong. Or maybe you learned through unspoken rules that your needs didn't matter. These rules become emotional prisons that we carry into adulthood. The second layer is culture. Culture gives you the emotional laws of your community. What feelings are allowed, what is forbidden, and what is shameful. You absorb these rules from the world around you without even realizing it. They just become the way things are. The third layer is trauma. Trauma colonizes the nervous system. It teaches your body to expect danger, even in perfectly safe environments. And because of epigenetics, trauma from generations before, you can actually shape your own stress responses today. That feeling of constant high alert, it might not have started with you. The final, fourth layer is society. School, your peers, your partner society rewards certain emotions and punishes others. What you learn to express becomes conditioned by your environment, shaping who you believe you are allowed to be. Understanding these 4 layers is the first crucial step. The second step is reclaiming yourself consciously and intentionally. So, how do we do that? Step 1. Identify the emotions that aren't yours. From now on, every time you feel a surge of guilt, fear, or shame, pause and ask yourself, whose voice is this? Is it my mother's voice? My father's? Is it the voice of my culture? Or is it the echo of my trauma? This simple question creates a powerful separation. Step 2. Trace the origin story. Every one of your programmed emotions has a birth story. If you feel guilty for resting, maybe your family survived poverty and learned that constant work equals survival. If you fear conflict, maybe you were raised by someone who feared anger, and you learned to avoid it to keep the peace. Tracing the story doesn't excuse the pattern, but it explains it. It removes the self-blame. Step 3 is where the real change begins: neuroplasticity and rewiring. Your brain is not fixed. It can change. Neuroplasticity allows you to physically rewire these old emotional patterns. A simple but powerful method for this is: name, normalize, and nurture. First, name the emotion you're feeling. I am feeling shame. Second, normalize why it exists based on its origin story. Of course I feel shame. I was taught that my needs were selfish. Third, nurture your authentic response. What do I, the real me, actually want to feel? I want to feel permission. This leads us to step 4. Build your own emotional identity. The most powerful question you can ask yourself is this: if I had grown up emotionally free, what would I feel in this situation? This question cuts through the noise of your conditioning and reveals your authentic emotional self. It points you toward your own internal compass. And step 5 is emotional reparenting. This means giving yourself, as an adult, what your caregivers couldn't give you as a child. This could be safety, validation, or permission to feel. When you become your own loving parent, you achieve true emotional liberation. Now, let's try this together. I want to guide you through a short emotional decolonization exercise. Find a comfortable place to sit. Close your eyes if that feels right for you. Just breathe slowly and let your body settle. Take a deep breath in for 4 seconds and exhale slowly for 6. Again, in for 4 and out for 6. Now, I want you to identify the dominant, challenging emotion in your life right now. Is it anxiety? Guilt? Anger? Just notice it without judgment. Let it be there. Now, ask it a question. Who taught me to feel this way? Don't force an answer. Just listen. Let an image, a voice, or a memory surface. See where it came from. Now, I want you to visualize returning this emotion to its source. You can imagine handing it back with gratitude for the protection it once offered, but with the clear intention that it is no longer yours to carry. Feel the space it leaves behind. Finally, ask yourself, what do I choose to feel instead? And breathe that new feeling into the space you've created. Permission, peace, joy, freedom. Let it fill you up. I know this work is deep, but it is transformative. I worked with a woman who was terrified of conflict. Through this process, she realized her fear wasn't even hers. It belonged to her mother, who was afraid of her father, and it came from a culture that taught women to be silent, to be safe. Once she saw this emotional lineage clearly, she was able to separate from it. She reclaimed her voice, boundary by boundary. So what happens when you decolonize your emotions? You gain clarity. You stop overreacting to minor triggers because you understand their deep roots. You start setting healthy boundaries. You stop apologizing for simply existing. You become emotionally sovereign. Your emotions are not random, they are inherited stories. But you have the power to become the author of your own story. Emotional decolonization is not about rejecting your past or blaming your family. It's about reclaiming your future. You deserve to live with emotional freedom. Thank you for watching.